Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. Thank you so much for being here. Today is a slightly different video for me. If you don't know who I am, my name's Adele. I create studio vlogs usually on YouTube, and I have a little business called Deli's Designs where I create cute and positive illustrated products like keyrings, enamel pins, stationery, all that kind of stuff. I'll stop blabbing about myself now, but if you're interested then I will leave some links in the description. Today's video is all about how I make stickers, the products that I use, like where I get them from, and then that whole process of how I make it from my iPad, which is the tool that I use to design my stickers, and then to my Cricut machine, which is what I use to cut my stickers. There are other ways to make stickers. You don't necessarily need a Cricut machine, you don't necessarily need an iPad, but this is what works for me and this is how I enjoy making them. So I thought if there's anybody that's interested in making them, especially with a Cricut machine, then this could be a really beneficial video for you. But of course there are alternative ways to make stickers, like suppliers, so like sending your designs off to get printed. There's also printing on sticker paper and cutting out with scissors, so you don't even need a cutting machine. And there is like a tape. I see people make them with tape. I've never done this personally, I know nothing about it, but there are videos on YouTube. If you don't even have a printer, you can still make stickers. But again, I'm going to take you through how I make them personally. It's not necessarily the right way to make them, but it's the way that works for me. The first thing I'm going to take you through is the supplies, so everything that I use and then where I get them from, and then we'll kick into how I actually do it. The first thing that I use is sticker paper. This is my main sticker paper. It's from Evergreen Goods. It's the matte white paper, which is suitable for inkjet and laser. I'll do a little overlay so you can see all the details on the front of the paper, but I get this from the Evergreen Goods website. It's just a matte paper. It works really well for me. I think there are definitely probably better quality papers out there, but for now I really enjoy using this, and yeah, I've got quite a bit of it to get through. So that's the first paper. I then occasionally use this premium quality inkjet photo paper, which has like a sticky backing, so it's a self-adhesive photo paper style. This is from Chroma Paper and this is from eBay. I used to use this for like all of my stickers, but I was having a lot of trouble with my Cricut machine and it reading censor marks, which I take you through in the later section of the video. So I use this for stickers that I don't use the Cricut machine for. So sometimes I do square stickers. I think I only have one design at the moment that's square, but I print it on the glossy paper and then I cut it out with a guillotine, so you don't even need the Cricut for those. But I still use this paper, just not with my Cricut machine. So that's the papers that I use. And then to print on paper, I use an Epson Eco Tank, the ET2650, but that has been discontinued because it is over 3 years old now. I've had it quite a while, but it's done me really well. I really suggest Eco Tanks if there's something you can afford. There are better quality printers out there, like print wise, but for me, I've saved so much money using an Eco Tank. Again, I'm not a printer expert, but the Eco Tanks I find are really good. Not saying you should buy one, obviously do your research, but I personally love mine. Okay, I just realised I forgot to mention what I use to actually design my stickers before printing them. So I use an Apple iPad, Apple Pencil and Procreate, which I believe is only an app you can get with Apple products, which is a bit of a shame, but I know there are people that use other things like Adobe Illustrator. I'm sure there's some like Android drawing apps if digital is what you're wanting to do. But I personally love using my iPad and the Procreate app. Before I invested in Apple Pencil, I just used the stylus pen and that worked perfectly fine. So yeah, I use this and the Procreate app, which I believe is £10 as a one-off payment. I don't pay anything monthly for it, and you can get that on the App Store. So that's how I design everything really. The last thing that I use is my Cricut machine, which is the Cricut Explore Air 2. I've had this for about 3 years. They are wonderful machines, but also can be a nightmare. I'm not promising a smooth ride if you do invest in a Cricut. They can be really stressful. Sometimes you can waste product with them and things, but personally the pros for me outweigh the cons, and I'll take you through a bit more about the Cricut later in the video. But I love mine personally. Mine's a bigger one. You can get smaller Cricut Joys and things. This is the one I use, and I'll take you through all the settings and things that I use for die cut stickers specifically. So that's all the supplies that I use. I'm going to take you into Procreate and we're going to outline a sticker, and I'll show you how to export it, all of that. So let's get making a sticker. just opened Procreate and this is the design that I'm going to be adding a border to. So this is an A4 canvas and I've just imported a design from another design that I want to turn into a separate sticker. So this is the little hedgehog design and we're going to add a border to this design, which is what's going to be your cut line for the sticker on the Cricut machine. Again, if you were cutting your stickers and you don't have a machine, you could just print multiple of these onto a A4 sheet and cut these out with scissors, but I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to my sticker outlines, so that's why one of the reasons I do use a Cricut machine. The sticker illustration is in a layer itself. Regardless of how many layers you've got here related to your illustration, you want to add a layer underneath, and that's what we're going to draw our outline on. I find it really useful to change the background colour to something that you can just pick up the white really easily but also see your illustration, because if I was to turn the background off, I do find it quite hard to see exactly where my drawing ends and when the background starts. So I always add a pinky colour just to make my life a little bit easier when it comes to drawing the outline. I use the round brush, which is under the painting section. This is just a default brush, it just comes with Procreate. It's a really solid brush and really good for outlining. Another tip I'd have for outlining your sticker would be to go to stabilization and turn your streamline all the way, or maybe not quite all the way, it's completely up to you. I do mine at about 95%, and this just means that your lines are much smoother and any wobble that you might have in your pen isn't there anymore. Making sure I'm on the layer underneath the illustration, I'm going to start outlining. I normally change my size to about 30. This will vary depending on how big your illustration is, but this works well for me. So I'm just going to outline, and how I do that is I literally just draw along the end of my illustration, following all the little bumps. If you want to, you don't have to, because he's got lots of spikes on his back. You could just do one singular line, but I'm going to follow the lines exactly. And some of them will join together because it's a bigger brush. So yeah, just do what feels right for you, but go around the whole illustration. Okay, so once you have your illustration, you want to hide your illustration layer, which is the little box that's ticked to the right hand side. And then you want to fill in, making sure you're on that bottom layer still, you want to fill in that. You might have to fill in the odd spaces here and there, but you need to make sure this outline underneath your illustration is solid, otherwise the Cricut machine will cut out any tiny little gaps. That's my outline. I'm going to turn the illustration back on and then we have a little sticker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the background so that we've only got this to export, and then I'm going to click the little spanner to the top left, click share, PNG, and I'm going to email that to myself. Get it on the computer, but you could save it if you're using the iPad for the design space, but I'm going to pop it onto my big desktop and do it that way. So I'm just going to email it to myself so I can open it. Let's go to the desktop and I'll take you through how to use, or how I use, the design space. Okay, so I've just opened Cricut Design Space, which is an app that if you buy a Cricut machine, it's going to tell you to download and make an account. So this is how you print and cut everything. If you want to make cards, like the Cricut Design Space allows you to do so much. I personally use it for sticker making, but there's so many different things you could do with the Cricut machine. So once you've downloaded and made your account, this is your homepage that you can see, and I'm going to take you into settings to show you a new feature that has like recently come on and is an actual game changer. So I'm going to take you into that. So if you click the three lines to the left at the home button and click settings, you can adjust these settings here however you would prefer. I use cloud only, full grid, metric, and then I use a Cricut Explore, so that's what it's under. And then they have this new one which is A4. It used to be letter size, and this is what I've been working with for 3 years up until last week. So I'd really highly recommend that you use A4 if you're using A4 paper, because it just means you can fit so many more things on one sheet. So I'm going to click that and click done, and then I'm going to go over to Canvas, which is where we're going to import our design. So it's going to bring up a checkered grid. Normally the canvas will be white, but I have mine set to grey because it allows me to see the border of my stickers. So I'm going to change that to grey, and then I'm going to click upload and upload image and browse my design so that it imports into the design space. Once your design is loaded in, it will come up on the little checkerboard to the left, and you want to click complex because that allows you to keep all of the detail in your design, and click continue. You're then going to be taken to an almost editing kind of page. This is where you can remove any issues. So if you've left a mark over here that you want to get rid of, you can click the erase button and adjust the erase, and you can just get rid of any little spots that might be around. I personally don't have any on here, so any checkerboard is blank space, and anything that's not got checkerboard is where you have any drawing. You can also zoom in on here, so if there's something really small that you want to check for, then you can zoom in and do that on here as well. I don't have anything, so I'm just going to move on to the next section. So click apply and continue. You then want to save your image as a print then cut image. If you save it as just a cut image, it's going to cut out a shape rather than just a picture. This will skip the print process, whereas you want to keep the print process, so make sure you click print then cut and then save your artwork under a name that, you know, makes sense to you. So I'm just going to put hedgehog sticker, and then I'm going to click upload. This is then going to put it in this little bar of other things. If this is your first item, it will be the only one down here, but these are all other things that I've put into the design space before. So I'm going to click on the hedgehog, and then I'm going to click add to canvas. This will then import your design at the size you drew it into the canvas. This is a bit too big for me, so I'm going to double click on it, make sure the item is selected, and I'm going to make sure that this little lock up here is locked so that everything moves together and nothing gets squidged. So I'm going to adjust the width to 7.5 centimeters because that is often the size that I make my die cut stickers, but you can change that to whatever is best for you, and you can, you know, see the different sizes on each side that's going to be. So it's going to be 6.26 this side and 7.5 this side. Now I'm going to let you into a little trick that I learned recently. So I'm going to click on shapes down to the left side and click on the square that has the pointy corners rather than the rounded corners. This is going to pop a square into my space, and I'm going to unlock the size, and I'm going to put in the max print then cut settings for the Cricut, because even though it prints on A4, it still has a limit inside that you can go to, and without this step it takes quite a long time to make sure everything's going to fit onto one A4 sheet. So doing this step, yes, it's an extra step, but generally it will save you some more time. So the max print then cut, according to Google, is 16.54 centimeters wide by 25.22 high. This is then going to give you a good sized rectangle, which I'm going to move underneath my sticker, and I'm going to pop my first little hedgehog in here, and I'm going to turn it so that the little snout fits up into that corner. Again, it will depend on the kind of sticker that you have, but I really want to make most of this space because it just means that I'm going to be wasting so much less paper when it comes to the actual cutting of each sticker. I'm then going to right click on the hedgehog, click copy, and right click again and paste. You can also do this with Control C and then Control V, but if just the right clicking works better for you, you can do that. And it looks like the size of my stickers, I'm only going to be able to fit 2 hedgehogs in a row. Again, this is going to vary depending on the size of your sticker. I am going to have a little move around, just see if there's anything that I can do that will allow me to fit more. So I'm just going to have a little play around. So I've managed to fit 8 hedgehogs into this rectangle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to individually select each hedgehog. So by doing this, I'm going to click one, click shift, and then click each hedgehog individually, which is going to highlight them all. I'm then going to click the attach button down to the right, and this is going to make it one solid image. It's still going to cut them all out individually, but it just means I can move them all together. I'm then going to click onto the rectangle and delete that, and I'm just going to move the hedgehogs over here. You don't have to do it, but it just, I don't know, I think it looks better before you go to the next step. And then you want to save your design. I keep saying hedgehogs because that's what I'm doing, but I'm just going to put hedgehog stickers because that's simply what it is. If you want to number things, you can do that, but I'm just going to put hedgehog stickers because that's what works best for me, and click save. I'm then going to click the make it button, which is going to pop it onto a separate screen, and you can just check everything over, make sure it's okay, and then I'm going to click continue. This is where I'm going to connect my Cricut machine. I've done mine by Bluetooth, but you can also do yours by a cable. My machine has connected up here. I'm going to click send to printer. Once it's loaded, it's going to bring up some settings. I personally turn off the bleed button and turn on use system dialog, because this allows me to go into my printer settings and adjust it to the highest quality. So I'm going to click print, and then it's going to bring up a little box with some preferences, and I'm going to click more settings and quality all the way up, and then I'm going to click OK, and then I can adjust the number of copies here, but I'm just going to do one for now, and I'm going to print that. Okay, so now I have printed my design. I'm going to make sure I set the base material. So it's currently set on paper, but that's when I do like the kiss cut stickers for my logo stickers, so the ones that you want to keep on the sheet, whereas these ones I'm going to be doing die cut, so it's going to cut all the way through. On my Cricut I can change the setting on a little dial, and I'm just going to twist it round until we are at light cardstock, because I find this is a really good for the GSM of my paper to cut all the way through without damaging the mat underneath. And now I'm going to take you over to my Cricut machine and we can cut out these stickers, and I will just show you how I do that. This is the dial where I changed my settings. I've got this little divot here into the centre of the light cardstock because that's what works for me. I just thought I'd show you here in case this is the machine you'd like to go for. So I'm going to click the open button, and it's going to open up the machine. I then have a Cricut standard grip cutting mat. One of these will come with a Cricut Explore if you buy one. So I'm just going to peel the protective cover off this, and then I'm going to attach on my sticker design. Although I think I might have done these a little bit too big, but we're going to carry on with this. It doesn't always go perfect the first time. Just stuck it onto the mat. These are like quite sticky when you first get them, but over time it will reduce. I have made sure to line up the stickers where the sticky starts, along the line where it gives you the numbers. And also the Cricut Design Space image has this arrow thing pointing down, so I made sure to do it like that as well. So I'm going to put this in the machine. When you put your mat onto the Cricut machine, you want to make sure that each corner is placed under these lifted pieces, so it will slide under like that, and then you want to give it a little bit of a push so that when you click this arrow button, when it starts flashing, it will then take it underneath. If you're not pushing it, it might not be able to grab it, so make sure you're pushing it. When the mat has feeded, this button, this little Cricut button, will start flashing. This is your go button, so you press this and the machine will start scanning the sensor lines which will have printed onto your sheet, which is the black lines on your sheet. When your machine has finished cutting that sheet, it will start flashing this again. So you want to click that, and that's going to unfeed the mat. And then you want to peel off the sheet, and it should leave the die cut stickers behind. Apparently it has left one, but that came out really easily. And then a little tip for removing your stickers is, if you're on a desk, gently bend the mat underneath and it will just slowly lift up corners of the sticker, and you can easily just peel them off. Some of them will come off really easily, but I find this helps a lot. So now I have a pile of really cute little hedgehog stickers. I will be reprinting these to make them a little bit smaller, but the Cricut machine has cut them so nicely. As you can see, border has been cut perfectly. Once you've unloaded and taken off your stickers, you can reload another piece of paper, pop it back in and follow the exact same steps. And when you're finished, you just click the finish button on the Cricut Design Space and you're done. So yeah, there's my little stickers. That is how I make my stickers. I'm definitely not perfect at doing it. I'm sure there's ways I could make it much easier, but this is how I enjoy doing it. This is what works best for me, and I really hope some of you have found it helpful. I hope it's helped if you wanted to decide whether to invest in a Cricut machine or not, because obviously they're not the cheapest, or whether you just like designing and want to get them sent out, or whether you've just got a printer and a pair of scissors. Whatever way works for you. You don't have to invest in expensive things to be able to make stickers at home. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and I'll do my best to help you. I can't promise that I can definitely help, but I will do my best. Again, any links will be left down below, so you can buy paper, buy a Cricut machine, then yeah, I'll leave it down below for you. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see some more behind the scenes of me and my business. I do weekly studio vlogs. Most weeks there is a studio vlog catching you up on what I've been up to in the small business life. I wish you guys the loveliest day and I will speak to you soon.